Now that we've referred to task sequencing and elicitation techniques, let me turn to diversity of interaction patterns as a teaching strategy. So when we talk about a diversity of interaction patterns, we are in fact thinking of the ways in which you organize the strategy of turn-taking in class. These turns, the turns taken, might be in charge of the teacher, addressed to students as a whole group, from the teacher to a single student, from a student to another student, from the student to the teacher, from the students as a group to the teacher, or among students and teacher monitoring interaction. So what we are talking about is the ways in which you organize tasks that will require different patterns of interaction and that will allow students and teachers to interact in different ways throughout the lesson. The richer the lesson, the richer the types of interaction patterns that it will contain. These interaction patterns go hand in hand with the type of elicitation that you want to establish. If you want students to produce the type of language that you are expecting, you are likely to monitor the interaction, so you will be more in charge, and probably there will be a student-teacher interaction or teacher-student interaction, or teacher and whole group interaction, or whole group teacher interaction. So when teachers participate in the interaction, there is a higher level of monitoring in it. As an active interlocutor, let us now analyze this extract of a class, and let's find out the interaction patterns that you can identify. In what ways do these interaction patterns vary? What is the purpose? How is input and output affected by these different interaction patterns?
Good. So are plants the same as animals?
No.
Okay. Is there anything that's the same about a plant and an animal? Yeah.
That the things that are alike is that they are alive.
They are both
alive.
perfect. They are both alive. So look what I put on the board here. This is called a Venn diagram. Do you see the big circles?
Yes.
What's this set heading say?
Plants.
What's this?
Animals.
What's this? Both. It's supposed to say both. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how plants and animals are different and how they're the same. And you've already told me one area that they're the same. They're both alive. Good. That's perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass out some paper. Miguel, can you help me pass out the paper? One sheet for two. So there's one sheet for them, one sheet for you, and just pass it around, okay? Thank you. So you guys are going to share this. Why? Because we want to work together. We want to help each other. And so two students get one sheet of paper, okay? Now, what I want you to do, you guys, is to think about two ways that plants and animals are the same. And look, we already have one way finished. They're both alive. But can think of two ways that plants and animals are different? Or you might even think of three ways that plants and animals are different, right? Okay, so can you work together? And can you actually make this diagram on a piece of paper? Try it, okay? Make big circles, big circles. Make sure they cross in the middle, okay? Can you do it together? You might have to share one desk. Great. Label them plants, animals, and both. Can you do that for me? All right, good. Now, I want you to work together, and I want you to think about, can you think of two ways or three ways that plants and animals are different? Can you think of one or two, and let's maybe even say three ways that plants and animals are the same? I want you to speak with each other. You can even talk as a group, 3 or 4 of you, English only. All right, see what you can do in the next couple minutes, okay? Please begin. I'm going to walk around and listen. So work together, talk to each other, all right? How are plants and animals different? Oh, you have a pencil. Okay, don't worry about it.
Animals can move.
Very good. You can write that down. Move and what would this be? Can they move? Don't move. Exactly. You can just write one word or two words. You don't have to write a full sentence. Just think of ideas, okay?
So what you find in this classroom sequence is that the interaction departs with the teacher initiating and talking to the whole group, teacher-students. But as the interaction progresses, teacher starts individualizing students and requesting answers from specific students. So then there is a teacher-student response. Then teacher requests students to get together and work together in pairs and then to exchange ideas in groups of 4 people. So there the interaction goes student-student and students-students. Also, the teacher will be going round, so probably students not knowing something or having any doubt, they will be requesting information to the teacher. So the interaction, the task, fosters students-teacher interactions. This is a clear example of the ways in which in a single lesson, in a single extract, there can be several types of interaction. This diversity of interaction is going to foster a richer linguistic environment. So let me conclude by saying that in this class we have talked about interaction and the ways in which we articulate input and output through our teaching strategies. It is important to note that this interaction is what will establish a very important scaffolding structure, which is scaffolding 3.